Hey everyone, what's up? This is, of course, my first live um, video here on my YouTube channel via my new HP notebook laptop, my HP 15 AY 039 WM, aka Fusion, if you will. Um, One of the things I will say quickly about it, as I said before, is it gives you the option of doing Wi-Fi, or it gives you the option to do, or the option, excuse me, to use a LAN cable, you know, internet, if you will, cable, and that's what it's allowing me to do. Um, Hold on a second here. One thing about this is it has a terabyte worth of stuff in it. Well, a little under a terabyte now. It's about basically 871 of 96 remaining gigabyte wise of this of the space here, but I also got my terabytes on the other one. So um, anyway, I just want to come on here, and I wanted to talk about the Mae Young Classic. Of course, you see the title there, and I wanted to talk about it because I heard what Dalyxman had to say. I just watched the um, bracketology on it, and I'm really looking forward to it. To say the least, I'm really looking forward to it because of the fact that you'll be able to watch it at any time you want. You'll be able to watch it at any time you want. You'll be able to like I said, you'll be able to watch it at any time you want to watch it because of the fact that um, it's going to be it's going to be on demand, of course. And I'm looking forward to what they do here. I'm really looking forward to what they do here because I'm not going to I'm not going to say that I haven't read spoilers yet or anything like that, because I did read the spoilers, but there was just so much spoiling, if you will, that um, that basically I can't really remember everything that I read there. I can remember possibly, I can remember possibly some of what I've seen, of what I've read, but not all of it. Um, Basically, I know who's in the finals. I'm not going to give that away, but I will hint that if you picked two certain individuals that you felt could go all the way, then you're going to get your money's worth. If you put your money, if you're a betting person and you are betting money on this, then there's no doubt you're going to win that money, if not double on that money, on that bet, because the two people you chose to get to the finals are pretty much there. Yeah, they are. They are pretty much in the driver's seat, if you will, if you pick those two. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you're going to be wrong or anything, but I'm just saying that if you pick those two ladies to be in the finals, then you're going to get your money's worth in the end, because they've gone all the way. Now we don't know who's going to be booked or nodded to become the first winner of the inaugural Mae Young Classic. We'll just have to tune in live on September 12th to see how that is. And that's one thing I want to talk about as well when it comes to this tournament. I've noticed that with this tournament, the one thing that's different is, even though they're trying to say that this is going to, you know, be something for the women, put the women on equal footing. What kind of what disturbs me a little bit, is the fact that the women are not being shown on equal footing. Instead, what we're getting instead here is the women. Basically, like I said, what we're getting instead is the women's tournament matches taped, and we're getting like 4 episodes in a row. When we had the Cruiserweight Classic, as far as I know, they didn't do that. As a matter of fact, they didn't do that at all. They aired, I think, 1 or 2, mainly 1 episode per week, right after NXT. It's like you had NXT, and then you had the episode of the Cruiserweight Classic, and that's all that mattered. You didn't have. Sorry, sorry there. My thumb hit the mic. Nose itches a little bit. You didn't have basically multiple episodes aired at once. I mean, you knew the Cruiserweight Classic was taped, but you didn't have multiple uh, episodes aired at once. You had like 1 or 2, but mainly 1 episode per week to really build up the anticipation. Now, I don't know if this is a strategic trust. Easy for me to say. Easy for me to say. Strategic this decision, strategy, strategic, just strategic decision to make, on the WWE's end. Maybe they felt people were impatient when it came to the Cruiserweight Classic. Maybe they felt it was running too long. I can't really say. Uh, but I will say this: whatever the decision was, to instead air 1, but to air 4 instead of 1, maybe 2, it had to do possibly with the fact that people were getting bored. Not saying people didn't like the Cruiserweight Classic. I know a lot of people did. I did. There's no doubt about it, because you got to see people see certain cruiserweights or certain international stars um, on the global WWE stage that right now currently are back working with other promotions. People like Zack Sabre Jr., Kota Ibushi. The list goes on. Excuse me. They're now back working for WWE. Now back working the promotions they've been homegrown in, or they've been calling their own, or back in the country. You get the idea. Back where they were before coming to the Cruiserweight Classic. So, so basically, I like I said, not I'm not saying nobody was excited about it because they were, because they got to see all this great talent. What I'm trying to say is it seems to me that how do I put this? It seems to me that it might have been the interest may have been high, but the patientness was wearing thin. It's like people just couldn't wait for the tournament to be over. As exciting as it was, people couldn't wait for the cruiserweight tournament to be over because it was going too long. So my thought on it, honestly, my thought on it was, oh, my thought on it is, I should say, um, is the fact that they pretty much real probably thought, well, people got impatient with the weekly episodic, viewing or airing of the Cruiserweight Classic Tournament episodes. Let's just chunk. Let's change that and clunk all this together, and that's what they obviously did because you're getting 4 episodes this Monday. Um, you're probably going to get 4 episodes. I don't know how many episodes this is because it's 32 women, so you have to estimate it has to go to at least September 12th. So you have to say that perhaps you're going to get an episode every other day here, 4 episodes every other day. You're going to get an episode. You're going to get 4 episodes on Monday. You're going to get four. Oh, sorry. You're going to get 4 episodes on Tuesday. Here we go. I had to do something. But like I said, you're going to get 4 episodes on Monday. You're going to get 4 episodes maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday. You know, maybe Thursday. Who knows? You're going to get 4 episodes at least twice or 3 times a week to get you sped up and in timed with the um, live finale. Now that sounds great and everything, but I I just don't really. What bothers me, like I said, is the fact that if you're going to treat these women on equal footing, and this Mae Young Classic is supposed to do that, here's what you do. You treat these women on equal footing by giving them the same episodic run as you did with the Cruiserweights. Every week after NXT, you air an episode of the Mae Young Classic. Doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 episodes, just do it in a similar fashion to where it's week after week. Don't clunk them all together at once, 4 or 5 at a time, just because maybe viewership went down during last year's Cruiserweight Classic. Maybe because fans were impatient. I don't know. Because like I said, I kind of find it strange that they would be impatient, seeing as though they liked the Cruiserweight Classic. They enjoyed it. They got a kick out of it. So um, to me, that's one of the things that's really bugging me about this. Um, it kind of bugs me. It's a little pet peeve, but it kind of bugs me a little bit of a nitpick. Another thing that's a bit of a nitpick, in my opinion, is, and it's not just a nitpick with me, it's a nitpick with a lot of people that are watching this tournament, that are tuning in for this tournament. And the nitpick basically is where the finale is taking place. It's like, okay, you could do the finale anywhere you want. You're WWE, you can do it anywhere you want, but why wouldn't you want to do it in front of the Full Sail crowd like you did with the Cruiserweight Classic? Why are you doing it literally after SmackDown in Las Vegas when pretty much that crowd's going to want to leave and go home? Why are you doing it then? It doesn't make any sense. it makes sense if you do it before SmackDown, but not afterward. And I understand that they have a lot of stuff planned out for this finale. It's going to be, I think, 2 hours or so, an hour to 2 hours or so, at least 2 hours, I believe. And they got a lot of stuff planned. They got multiple women matches. They want to plan out and put out there. They got the, they possibly have, uh, how do I put this? What I'm saying is I know that they got a lot planned out. They have a lot planned out or trying to plan a lot out for this finale, like getting multiple women matches out there to showcase before you get to the finals of the tournament, which would be the main event. Um, so I can understand that. I can understand they have a lot planned out and everything. They also want to continue teasing. In case you guys haven't been paying attention to social media, they want to continue teasing the whole friction between the MMA four horsewomen and the WWE's four horsewomen. And I know they want to try to plan to continue that storyline, that build to potentially a Survivor Series match in November. Um, but here's the thing: you could do all this. You could do all of this in Full Sail University. You can do it in front of a crowd that's going to appreciate it. You can do it in front of a crowd that's not going to walk out on you, as after one show is done and then you go into this. Because if you're planning to do this in Las Vegas, then you got to make sure you got to make sure people stick around. Because if you start seeing people walking up the steps and saying, "Okay, we're done. We came for SmackDown. We came for 205 Live, whatever," and they decide to leave, then pretty much trying to put this as your finale kind of blew up in your face. It blows up in your face, and it's something that you can't live down. You know, Sorry, my finger hit the mic again. My nose is itching. But like I said, it's something you can't live down. And as far as the women are concerned that are part of this tournament, that are probably going to come back and be part of this finale, they're not going to be able to live it down, because it's like they're going to look at this and be like, wait a minute, we volunteered to be part of this, and this is what we're getting. We're getting people walking out on us. Now, I know some people might say, well, maybe they just, now look, I understand maybe they want to do the finale in front of a larger audience and get more eyes on the women's portion of the business, on the women's product on the WWE's women's product. I get that. Get more eyes on women's wrestling. Show them that they are equals. I get why they would want to do this in Las Vegas for that reason. But when I look at the fact that it's better off at Full Sail, in my opinion. I look at the fact that you have a crowd that's willing to stick around. You could do an hour's worth of NXT if you want to, maybe 2 hours worth. And you would have a crowd that would stick around for the next 2 hours just for the Mae Young Classic. I mean, you have a hard time, let's be honest, you have a hard time getting people to stick around for 205 Live, and that's about 45 minutes to an hour. What makes you think they're going to stay another hour or two for another hour and a half or two for the Mae Young Classic? And again, I understand, I understand. You guys want to do it in front of a bigger audience to show that the women are equal footing. And that's great. That's great. But let's be honest here. There are some members of the wrestling community, hardcore, casual, whatever, smart mark, non-smart mark, whatever, as well as the WWE universe itself, there was a huge, well, not a huge chunk, but there is still a sizable amount of fans that don't give a crap about the women's wrestling. If they don't know who the women are, they don't give a crap. You know, there may be people that don't know who Tony Storm is, and even though they could watch her in the tournament, they won't want to stick around to see a Tony Storm versus Piper match. You know, they won't want to stick around for that. They won't want to stick around for a Candice LeRae against a Mercedes Martinez match, even though they see them in the tournament. They may have heard about them, but they don't know much about them. You know, even though they see them in the tournament, they're learning about them. They may not want to stick around for that because they don't know who they really are. You know, why should they stick around for this? See, that's what worries me. But again, like I said, and I know I'm repeating myself here, I understand you want to trot this out in front of a larger audience to where this larger audience gets a better appreciation of women's wrestling and it shows that they're on equal footing like the men. And that's a good idea and that's great. But I think honestly, and I know I'm not alone in this, I think honestly the best solution would have been just to put the finals at Full Sail University. You have a decent crowd. It's okay. It's not the size of the crowd that you would get in Las Vegas at the Thomas and Mack Center or the MGM Arena, wherever you're going to have this. You know, I admit it's not the same size as what you would get there, but it's a size that'd be more appreciative of what you're giving them, and a size of a crowd that would stick around even if you did a taping or so of NXT. Even if you did a taping or so of NXT beforehand. That's I think that would have been a better option and solution in my opinion. I really do. Um, Now, as far as some of the women are concerned in this tournament, I'm gonna try to look this up here. See if I can look at the bracket. Get the bracket here. Okay, some of these women I see definitely getting possible contracts with the WWE, mostly for the NXT brand. I see someone like Jazzy Gabbert because of her size. I see someone like Jazzy Gabbert because of her size getting a contract to start out in NXT. You know, I mean, you look at Nia Jax and the fact that she's learning and still learning even on the main roster. And if need be, she goes back to NXT to perform there, and even goes to the Performance Center. I could see someone like Jazzy Gabbert being someone that could get the WWE is going to say, you know what, we want her on our team, and I could see them give even if she doesn't make it all the way in the tournament. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything, guys. All right, you know I've read the spoilers, but again, I can't remember all that I read. All I know is who's in the finals. Um, all I know is I know who's in the finals. But anyway, win or lose throughout this tournament, I think Gabbert is going to get a contract with WWE, and she's going to be in NXT uh, probably before the year's out. I feel it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think she's going to get it. Um, Another one I think that's going to, a few others that I think are going to get it as well, even though they didn't make it, even though depending on their placement, um, even though, like I said, depending on their placement in the tournament or where they place anyway, I see people like Jade, Marty Bell, and Rachel Evans and Tony Storm being looked at as possible WWE contracted women wrestlers very soon. I definitely see that. I see Tony Storm, I see Jade, I see Marty Bell, I see Rachel Evans. Hopefully the little go by the name Rachel Ellering because she is Paul Ellering's daughter. Um, you know, hopefully, like I said, a little use that name. Uh, I could see her getting a contract. I can see them. I can see Evans. I can see Marty. I can see Jade. I can see Tony Storm as being top prospects for WWE to possibly offer contracts for NXT to start out in NXT and then maybe go to the main roster when they're ready. Um, I can see WWE doing that. I can see them doing that with Candice LeRae. I can see them obviously doing that with Masita. With I can see him, like I said, I can see him doing with Candice LeRae. I can see him doing it with my Mercedes Martinez. I can definitely see him doing it with Shayna Baszler because she's part of that whole full horsewomen deal. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get her under there, if not already. So I could see Martinez getting one. I could see LeRae officially getting one finally. I can see Baszler if she doesn't have one already. I can see her getting one. Who else do we have? I could see Piper Nevin getting one. Yeah, I could see Piper Nevin getting one. I could see Dakota Kai because they even sit on bracketology that the WWE's been looking at her for a while. So yeah, I can see I can see I can see them getting some contracts down the line. Now, according to what I'm looking up here, I'm looking up some information about it. We know that Monday is the first four episodes of the tournament, and that's the round of 32. According to this, on September 4th, which is, I think, Labor Day weekend. Yeah, it's Labor Day weekend. It's Labor Day. You're going to get a marathon of episodes. You're going to get an episode for the round of 16. That's going to be joined by an episode featuring the quarterfinals. And then you're going to get, and to round it out on Labor Day, you're going to get an episode with the semifinals. So basically, the round of 32 starts on August 28th. That's going to be the four episodes there. That's where the four episodes are going to be featured at. And then you're going to get, I think, four episodes, I believe, of the round of 16, which will be September 4th, as well as that will be followed up on the same day with an episode dedicated to the quarterfinals. And then, like I said, to round it out, it's going to have an episode dedicated to the semifinals. And that's going to be September 4th, basically Labor Day Monday. It's going to be on Labor Day. So, yeah, you're going to get a marathon of all these episodes on Labor Day. So in case you don't catch it the first time, you can catch up with it. You know, you can catch up with the four episodes that same day, but then also watch the other four episodes or what have you that get released later on. So yeah, you're gonna basically get a lot of Mae Young Classic on Labor Day. It's basically it's all going to conclude on basically the not the whole tournament, but basically the round of 32 starts out on August 28th, and then Labor Day weekend is when it kind of starts to wrap up a little bit because, like I said, you get episodes dedicated to the round of 16, the Sweet 16, you get the quarterfinals, and then you get the semifinals. You get those episodes as well, and then that will kind of get you ready for the finals that takes place 8 days later, after SmackDown in Las Vegas. So yeah, you're going to get a Labor Day marathon of Mae Young Classic episodes, and like I said, those on September 4th are going to focus on the Sweet 16 of the group, the quarterfinals, and the semifinals. Basically, you're going to get um, you're going to get a whole um, how do I put this? You're going to basically get your money's worth of of Mae Young Classic episodes. You're going to basically get your plate's worth. You're gonna you're gonna get your plate's worth. You're going to get a meal. You're going to get the feast, a majority of the feast here, and then basically you're going to get an appetizer here, if you will. But basically, you're going to get almost a full course meal on Labor Day. That's what it seems that they're planning out. Um, but yeah, But yeah, that's the schedule they got going according to some of the sites I looked up. Again, like I said, some of the women I believe are going to get looked at WWE, looked at by WWE and possibly offered contracts like ranging. These women are ranging from let me see again, from Jazzy Gabbert, Rachel Evers, Ellery, if you will, Marty Bell, um, Mar- uh, Mercedes, blah, blah, uh, Mercedes Martinez. I could see Candice LeRae getting offered a contract. I could see my Jade, Maya Yim, if you will, getting a contract. I can see Shayna Baszler getting one if she doesn't have it already. I can see Dakota Kai getting one, and I can see Piper Nixon getting one, and Tony Storm, and I might even throw Serena Deeb in there as well, possibly if they want to bring her back as well. But yeah, I could see these women getting offered a contract more so than any of the many getting offered a contract by WWE to start out in NXT and then probably go to the main roster um, down the line, if not skyrocketed for some after this tournament's over or during the run of this tournament on WWE Network. I could see some of these women getting offered a contract by WWE, and I think that would be great for them. Some of them I didn't mention, like Santana Garrett. I could see maybe her being offered one, but I think Santana Garrett would be better off with the Women of Honor, if not GFW. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I definitely feel that those women that I've mentioned are going to be offered contracts by WWE down the line. I really feel that. And I can't wait to see what they do. Excuse me. Like I said, I can't wait to see what they do. But yeah, those women. But yeah, those are the women that I feel that. Well, the Mae Young Classic is happening, and while it's being aired on the network, and as we get to the finals, and even after it's all said and done, those women that I've named, I feel that I've mentioned, I feel WWE is gonna offer a contract to, like I said, to start out in NXT and then maybe gradually work their way to the main roster. If not, probably for some, have a short stint in NXT and then be skyrocketed to the main roster. So I definitely see that happening. I know Kairi Sane. I know Kairi Sane has already gotten a contract, so that's pretty cool. She might be the Asuka replacement or the replacement for Asuka in NXT. But I really think her, along with the women that I've mentioned, that I believe, hopefully I believe and all hopeful WWE offers contracts to, will definitely help carry the women's division in NXT and then later on the main roster for the near future. I can definitely see it. And especially for longtime veterans like Martinez and LeRae and Storm. it's now or never for those ladies. It's now or never. And I think this is probably the best opportunity. Maya Yim, aka Jade, and Marty Bell, they still have plenty of time behind them, or plenty of time ahead of them. But I think if they come to WWE and NXT right now after this tournament, the sky's the limit for them in the company. So that's that's really all I can say. And, as far as Gabbett and Never Piper Never is concerned, you know, Jazzy, I think it was that. I think that's what her name was. Let's see, yeah, Jazzy. As far as Jazzy Gabbard and Piper Nevin are concerned, I see them definitely getting signed and being put in NXT and kind of getting a build similar to what Nia Jax had before she went to the main roster. So, because I think WWE would definitely appreciate having a few more physically intimidating powerhouses similar to Nia Jax on their roster or within the company. So we'll have to wait and see. But overall, the Mae Young Classic, besides some of the things I've talked about, like how I feel like many it should be at Full Sail instead of Las Vegas. I feel and despite the fact I've like many, I feel it's better off being at Full Sail, the finals that is, than Las Vegas. But understanding they want to put in that wide in front of that wider audience, in-person audience that are attending. I can understand and respect that, but I think it'd be better off if it was in Las Vegas, and I think WWE is going to realize that after the finals. Um, and, uh, and again, besides the fact that I believe they should have just given it the same treatment they gave the Cruiserweight Classic as far as airing it on the network. I think it would have benefited it more. But I can understand maybe one of the reasons was the fact that the attention span maybe wandered off a little bit, or the viewership kind of died down a little bit, even though people were excited about the Cruiserweight Classic. Maybe that's the reason they've decided to clamp it all together for the Mae Young Classic. I'm just saying, and that's just an opinion, but it just seems that way to me. But overall, besides that, I think the Mae Young Classic has the potential to be very memorable. I think the Mae Young Classic's got the potential to be something that people are going to talk about for a long time as one of the best tournaments they've seen in by WWE or any wrestling company for that matter. And again, like I said, hopefully the women that I've mentioned will be offered contracts, if not already, by WWE while the tournament's ongoing on demand on the network and even after it's said and done. So overall, that's just my discussion, my live discussion on the Mae Young Classic and uh, what I feel is going to be the future for some of the women involved, and how I feel about it. The location of the finals taking place, and how I feel about the airing of it happening on the WWE Network. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Thank you all for watching live, and if not, thank you all for watching post live, and comment down below. And I will talk to you all later. OTRS Central, Dalyxman. I would like to personally hear from you guys and what your thoughts are on what I've had to say about this. Peace out. God bless.